Alright, kind of an exciting day today. Finally restoring my 1972 SS15. Um, I'm calling it an SS15, and if you know the difference between Suburban and SS, you'd already noticed that this is not an SS15. It's a Suburban 15, because it doesn't have the full floorboards that goes up to the fenders. Well, it's a Suburban 15 right now, but I have the original style floorboards to make it an SS15. And then once as I actually restore it and I have the proper decals to put on, I'm going to change out these Suburban decals for the SS decals that has the wood grain. The main reason that it took about a year for me to finally get to this is the engine. So when I was kind of looking after this a couple days after I got it with the other 9 tractors I bought with this, that I spun the engine and it doesn't have any compression. So I'm just like, okay, it needs a total rebuild. This is a rear engine, kind of expensive to rebuild, so I'm just like, wait for, another day. And then I got realizing here, because I took the head off this engine last night preparing for this video so I knew what I was talking about. And it turns out that, I'm going to go on the other side. Turns out that it just has a broken ring. So if you see right along the bottom of the screen, it looks like the ring is in a couple pieces there. It's not supposed to look like that. And if you look on this side, it's in one piece. Kind of hard with the camera not focusing, but you probably get the idea. So yeah, that's definitely a broken ring. So that would be why it doesn't have compression. And just me spinning this pulley slowly and having the piston go up and down, I can hear air going through there. So that's got to be the problem. The nice thing is the cylinder doesn't have any gouges or anything in it. So I think it happened and then it quit. And then nobody really messed with it a whole lot for any damage to happen, which is, good. So I think here what I'm going to do is I have a video of me taking the steering wheel off of a different tractor. Once I'm done talking here, I'm going to put that video in here showing you how I remove the steering wheel. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this engine out. And then I'm going to set you up on a tripod and then go through actually taking this thing apart. And we'll go from there. Opposite of the keyway, I'm going to just cut the steering wheel. You will have a little line in the steering wheel which you could glue back together later if you want, or just live with it. So here it goes. Alright, so you see there's a slice in the plastic on the steering wheel, and it's also down in the middle, which cuts the outside down to the steering shaft. So now what you do, you take a punch and a hammer, stick the punch down here in the hole that you just cut on the outer piece, and just start hammering away, and it'll spread it open and you pull it off. Alright, I managed to get the punch pounded in there deep enough, and it does wobble side to side now. So give it a bunch of wobbles. There's your steering wheel removed. So I got the engine loosened up, and I can't lift it off. So I'm actually going to scoot the tractor over to my forklift, which that has electric lift for the forks. And then I'm going to set it on this little rolly cart that's just off camera. So you can see me right here moving the engine onto the forklift, just to save my back from lifting the engine off the tractor because it weighs quite a bit. And then now I start to take the rear tires off by flipping the tractor over. Now I pull off the fender on the one side. I'd recommend, if your tractor has that little toolbox on there, which is the smaller screws on the fender, to pull that off before doing this. It just makes it a little bit easier before tipping the tractor over and pulling the tire off. Now I flip the tractor over and pull the other tire off, which seems kind of sketchy, but I do this on every single one. There's probably a better way to do it, but this is what I've been doing, and I've done a whole bunch of them like this, and it seems to work, at least for me anyway. Now I'm pulling the other side fender off. First I got to pull the toolbox. Now I am pulling off the mower deck hanger, or mid-mount attachment hanger. Now I'm pulling off the front mower deck / attachment engage lever. And then now I'm doing the one on the opposite side, which is just kind of a bracket that holds the front corner of the mower deck. So next step is I gotta sand this clutch shaft, or clutch pedal shaft. So these two little metal brackets that hold the or push on the clutch itself, and then this one here for the brake, they can slide off. They can only slide off one way. The reason you gotta sand is these are always full of rust because they're probably bare metal when they put them on. Sand it, and then you should be able to pound it right off. Some of them are really easy, some of them are really, really hard. This one seems like it's going really easy because this here already moved 1/2 inch on me. So one thing to take note before you take yours apart is which direction these little brackets go on there, because I've done that a good dozen times where I put them on backwards and had to take everything back apart. The flat piece goes on the outside, set screws on the inside. Otherwise, I'm going to switch back to the tripod camera and take that apart. And now I begin hammering, trying to get the actual clutch pedal rod itself off. And then I hammer the little pin there, which this takes a little bit of work. This particular tractor is going really easy, but I've had some where I've ended up having to just cut the thing off and mold it back together when I put the tractor back together. Bottom one is loose. Make sure you spray the whole thing down with some type of penetrating oil, and then I just kind of spin it and then kind of pull it up, kind of hammer it, and it usually will come off if it wants to. Otherwise, like I was mentioning, you might have to just end up cutting the whole thing off. Alright, so this is what it looks like when you have one of these tore apart and you didn't pick anything up. Kind of a big mess. But that's kind of expected. If you've watched my other videos, this happens on everyone. Something that is kind of weird, and this has happened to me actually before, but if you notice right here, there's like a piece of steel somebody welded in there. And what I'm thinking that happened, because this happened to me before, is it broke right along here, because they're not very strong, especially on these front frames where they're not as tall. So they actually are known to break right there. It happened to me once. So you have to weld on these little brackets, which this one here, it's not welded very good. I'm assuming probably because the tractor's put together. So since I've got it apart and everything, I'm going to, of course, clean all the filth and grease, grime, and stuff off. And then I'll re-weld that a little bit better, because I can get into here now. And get that fixed. The transmission's in really good shape from this. I get a lot of them where they're kind of not in great shape. The brakes worked. The parking brake even worked. So it'll be a really good machine. I don't have any work to do on the fenders. They're straight as can be, so that's cool. Something I forgot to show you in the beginning of this video is I have all of the side covers. So this cover here, which is pretty rare because it's specific to these Briggs tractors. I have that. Have the mesh for the center of the grill corner, the actual shroud for the Briggs, the original side cover, Then of course the little mule drive cover along with the little hood riser, because the Briggs engines are so tall they have to raise the hood about an inch. But I'm going to actually end the video right here. I've got this big mess to pick up. The next time you see it, it should be on pallets, organized, and I should be working on the engine in the next video. I'm going to figure out exactly what model that is, other than it's 15 horsepower. Get rings ordered up, and I'll do a video on getting that running, and we'll go from there on the rest of this. Thanks for watching.